Welcome, all of you garage door opener guys, gals, geeks, and gurus. Mike here from All Pro Quality Garage Doors in sunny San Diego. I've got a machine here hidden under this rag, and I just couldn't resist it as I was going through my pile here. This thing's got a lot of history, most of it being very bad. So it's a perfect machine to strip down. Now I'm not going to tell you what machine it is yet, but... oh, great. Let's give it all away. Who's editing this damn video? Unbelievable. Okay. The GG 1950. The Genie Genius. Now, look at this beauty. I'm going to reveal it right here. And I'm going to strip it down. Now this thing is the bad boy of garage door openers. Rumor has it, one of the engineers at LiftMaster years and years ago jumped ship, and he took his baby with him that he was designing, called the Trac Drive, when Genie jumped on it. Bad mistake, if you ask me. But the reason I like this machine so much, even though it's just a complete pile of garbage, is because it was very, very difficult to fix. And once you perfected it, you had it made. If you knew how to repair these things, you knew there was a right way and a wrong way to do it. The right way was very detailed, extensive, and difficult. The wrong way was fairly easy, but the repair didn't last. So I'm going to strip this one down, show you what typically went wrong with them, and show you how basically to repair it, even though this particular machine I'm just going to junk. I'm hoping to get this video done in a reasonable amount of time, but if it stretches over, I might just have to make this into a two-part because this is very extensive. Just to get to the gear you need, you have to take it completely apart. So this one might stretch into a two-parter. I'm going to try to keep it simple, cut it down to the nuts and bolts of it, and see if we can't get into this one here. Now, so I got some simple tools laid out here. I didn't bring my work truck today, so I don't have everything, but it's been a long time since I stripped one of these down. And we used to do probably, I'd probably say about 5, 6 of these a week back in the day. And, you know, if you got good at it, it was a market that you could corner because nobody else would touch it. If you stocked the parts, you made a killing on them. If you knew how to swap the gears and the tape, you could do real well back in the day. Very few people would even touch them, wouldn't even work on them. So let me get the case off of this bad boy, and we'll take a look at what's inside. Okay. Got a idler gear here. You got your clutch right here, same as the Genie screw drives. You've got your transformer right there, circuit board, starting capacitor, and if you take a look at this little seam right here, you can see there's a separation in there. What typically happened with these machines is the tape lifting a heavy door, the teeth in the sprocket would start to oval out the holes in the tape until it couldn't grip the holes anymore, and it started punching in new holes. What would eventually happen is the sprocket in the gear housing here would wad up the tape. So as it started going through there, and this thing over months is making its own holes, eventually it has no more hole to work with. So it starts grabbing the tape itself where there is no hole, and everything would wad up in this case. And it'd be like a little accordion deal around the case. Now let's see if I can find the right tools, and we'll start taking this apart. First, let me get the rail off. Okay. Everything about this machine was horrible. There's not one good thing about it. I bet you LiftMaster was laughing for many, many years, if that story is true. Okay. Inner trolley, or slide as they called it. Okay, you can see here a little bit of that accordion effect as it's starting to make its own holes right there. You can see it a little better on that side. Now, in order to get access to the gear case right there, everything's got to come apart. You've got screws holding the motor in place. You've got screws holding the gear case down, the gear housing, I guess as they called it, sprocket housing. You've got a bracket holding down the idler gear here. And like I said, it's been, God, maybe 15, 20 years since I've taken one of these apart. So, I mean, they've been pretty much obsolete for a long time. So if I happen to misname some of the parts, give me a break here. These things are dinosaurs. Okay, so I've got everything loose here. I might as well just take it off. I'm going to junk the machine when I'm done. There's no good usable parts in here. Now, going back to the simple way to fix this machine versus the proper way to fix it. The simple way to fix it is just to use the machine, hit the button, try to spit the tape out, and feed in a new one. But the problem with that is when you got to tape this jacked up, what would happen is the sprocket, the drive sprocket in there, doesn't have a lot of teeth. I don't know how many it's got. It's not a lot. It's not like a normal gear. So that would start to round off and it would chip away at a tooth. So you spit in a brand new tape, doing it the cheating way, and one of the teeth on the sprocket's missing, it'll chew up that brand new tape right away. You don't even make it out of the driveway. So that would be the easy way to do it, but didn't really pay off in the long run. The proper way to do it is to strip it down and get to that gear. Take a look at it and clean it out. Okay, now, let's see here. Let's go for the gears here. Get some goggles here. Driver this wouldn't be, you know, the way I would do it back in the day. I had a set of nut drivers, 5/16. Didn't use a little 1/4-inch ratchet. I had full set of everything that you needed to take apart a track drive. If you did enough of these over the years, you could, we used to have people bring them in. If they wanted to save a little money, bring it in, reluctor, and I'd do it right there on the workbench for them. Fix it, send them out of here, save them a little bit of money from having to come out there. Also let them watch you while you did it, that way they'd realize it. They didn't stand a chance of fixing this thing. Now there's a hole in this gear. So you can see that little hole right there. That's so you could get to that last 5/16. I took the bolts off that hold the motor in place. So the motor should just drop out, but normally I just loosen it up, slide the motor back out of the way. Okay. There we go. Take the motor loose. Okay, let's move it along. Out of the way. This, see if I can get it up here. This is the assembly you wanted to get to. That contains the gear and the area you need to be into to see what's going on in there. Now, if you look at that, you can see that separation in there. It's usually an indicator that the tape's wadded up in there. There is it's a little guide inside here that channels the tape into the right path around the sprocket. Those would get chewed up too. So realistically, to fix it properly, you had to get into here. And if you hadn't done it before, you'd realize that it was a very, very daunting task. Now, we take the gear off here. There we go. Keyway. Take this off. Gives us better access to this. Normally, I wouldn't necessarily need to take this plate off just to get to the gear and the tape in here. But just to make it easy, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to take it all apart and junk it anyway. So I got 3 screws left here that I got to take apart in order to crack this open. They're Phillips, nothing fancy. Where's my Phillips screwdriver at now here, guys? We're doing a video right here, Bubba. Phillips screwdriver. Had to fix the copier. The copier. Yeah, brutal. I know. Can't you see I'm doing a video here? Carry on. Get out of here. Okay, so let me get the Phillips here. Go. Okay. That's what you got on the inside. Let me see if I can get it under the light here. Okay, so let's pull this out of here. I've got a very thin, literally a razor thin washer here. Take that out. Slide this out. There should be a keyway in there. Okay, there's a keyway. Dump the plastic out. So, eventually what happened is this thing wadded up right here. And it just couldn't take it anymore, and the case couldn't handle the pressure. Take that off of there and look at the teeth on here. Now normally if the teeth are good, I wouldn't replace the sprocket. But like I said, there's not a whole lot of teeth on there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teeth on this thing. This one looks to be, for its age, in pretty good shape. The tape, however, has a little bit of an accordion effect to it. So it's kind of wadded up right there. So let me see if I can find the right area here to show you this. So this tape is just like scaling off right there. What happened is, let me find a good area. It's what it should look like new. The teeth as they go in there, and years of pulling and pulling and pulling eventually cause this thing to oval out. So as you can see, as you start getting closer here, you can usually tell by looking at the tape where the stressful areas of the door were, where it was heaviest. This one here looks like that door was beat, because this tape is beat. This thing is thrashed. And they don't make the tapes anymore, so kind of out of luck. But you can see what would happen. It would start to oval out the hole. The holes normally are ovaled this way. Well, it would start to oval it that way until it no longer gripped a hole. It would miss a hole completely, jam in between the two. Normally it would break this too. Okay, now let's have a look at the housing here. There's a channel in here that guides the tape around here and back down. A lot of times an area in here or even in here would be broken off as well. This one looks pretty good. That one looks pretty good. So basically, in order to fix this, once you have it apart like this, is you would take, this might have been fixed once because it's dry. If you look at everything in here, you can see that the grease that normally would be packed into here, it looks like something scraped it out. Same thing with this side here. Not much grease. These track drives function better with no grease in this area here. The grease just helps the teeth to slip. Do not grease a track drive. Now, doesn't mean you don't put any grease on there. When I would put them back together, Once I took it off and cleaned everything up, I would take these razor thin washers, put a little dab of grease on that, stick it right there, put a little bit right there, not much. Flip it over, same thing with the other one. And then I'd clean out all the grease in here. Put a little bit in the bushing, put the tape, the new tape back around the sprocket, put it back in the housing, and put the housing back together. That's how you would do a track drive repair. If you spit out that old tape, if you were lucky enough to be able to get this old tape out of here without, something wadding up in here, breaking something, you were lucky. Normally they'd wad up in here so bad you couldn't pull them out. Then if you spit in a new tape, you had a problem with this, it was just, you'd have to start over again. It's better just to strip it down, take it apart, and do it right the first time. So there you have it, the Genie Genius. What a name. You think, boy, you got to be a genius to buy one of these things. Because you got suckered the second you walked out the door with that thing.
Put that in your trunk and smoke it. Good luck.
Now, it didn't really matter if it was the 1950, the Genie Genius, the 940A, I think the other one was called, and they had a couple of different models. Can't remember all of them anymore. But generally speaking, with the exception of the case, I think everything else was pretty much the same. Same problem. Get out of here. Copier jammed again. Same everything. The tape drive was just a poor design right out of the gate. Good luck with that one, Somebody designed some plastic to lift a door. Now, granted, on a sectional door, the thing would probably be okay, even though they made a lot of noise. But in California, we got one-piece wooden doors that tilt up. They are heavy. They snap tapes right and left. So the track drives were generally all the same. They had a sprocket. They had a tape. Some of these other gears in the other models might have been different. And I still got some of the gears. I just don't have the tapes. I don't have the housings anymore. I don't have the drive sprockets anymore. I think I sold my last Genie tape about 3 or 4 months ago, believe it or not. Very rare. And that was just one that a customer gave me still in the bag that he never swapped. So that was cool. Got rid of that. Now we got our other disasters to deal with. Chain glide. Woo! That's a beauty. I know I got one of those in my pile here. We'll go up, speaking of pile, we'll go over that pile next, maybe. And I got some iDrives I still got to take apart. But, as you guys can see, I got, I don't know, maybe 50 machines behind me. Over there to over there. 3 feet high. I'm going to start tackling those one after the other for you guys. Start taking them apart. Start showing you what goes wrong with them. Start talking about the history of them. The Trac Drive just happened to be one of my favorites because it does have a lot of history. Just, from the rumors, supposedly, about the guy from LiftMaster jumping ship and heading on over to Genie and bringing that design with him. I don't know if it's true. Sounds good, though. So there's a lot of history behind these machines. Very cool to reminisce and take them apart and have a look inside. Anyway, Mike from All Pro Garage Doors, thanks for watching. And now that the weather's cooled down out here in San Diego, I can get out in this hot box here, and I'm going to start trying to do maybe 2 videos a week until I knock this pile down. I got these guys harping at me. I'm taking up too much room. So I'm gonna start getting into these hardcore. I don't need to do every Monomatic. I don't need to do every Z133. You know, I just got to strip one and then save the good parts. Move on to the next one. I think probably maybe next I might just do the Genie chain glide. I don't know. Might do the iDrive, would be a quick one. I attempted to take it apart and it was brutal. So, you know, maybe I'll do the iDrive next. I don't know. This one should be online here coming up the next day or two. Hope you guys like it. Mike from All Pro Quality Garage Stores, we out of here.